Welcome to Book Weekly, your weekly recap on all things book and stuff. Announcements, means, price action, all the info in one video. On Wednesday, Ben posted on X this message saying that he had multiple CEX calls from the beach. CEX stands for Centralized Exchange, and it's something that they've been teasing for a while. Here we see a comment, someone's pointing out Coinbase and MEXC, and Ben says, "Oh, I never heard of this, wink wink." Why is he winking is because Coinbase is something they talked about a few months back. There was an AMA with Josh on Cardano Reddit 3 months ago, and already the question was asked to him. You can see here, okay, step 1 for Coinbase is complete, how many more steps? And he explains that, yeah, step 1 was some kind of filtering to make sure they could be listed. And then there's a second step, which is more deeper due diligence. So this was 3 months ago. Could be that they are getting to the end of that and a listing on Coinbase is on the horizon. The other thing to consider is that they've also been talking about bridging the token to ERC20, so Ethereum type of networks. And I think that this also could make it easier to get listed. You have almost no Cardano native tokens on centralized exchanges and a lot of ERC20 ones. So that could be their way to get access to those platforms. And something else that he mentioned during this AMA was really interesting. If I can just retrieve it, yes. So he explains that basically, well, they've been contacted by lots of exchanges like tier 2, tier 3, and that they're not interested because what they are targeting is mass adoption. So they need to go to the bigger places. And here he says that a lot of centralized exchanges are very interested because they see this as big utility with mass market potential. So centralized exchanges, they have the same target audience as book in a sense. People that are not necessarily crypto savvy yet, but that are interested in dipping their toes in that world. So it's nice to hear that centralized exchanges are seeing the potential that book represents. I mean, centralized exchanges, they make their money with trading fees, mostly. Of course, projects need to pay listing fees that are really high, I think like $50,000 or even more. But the regular income stream are trading fees. So of course they would want to onboard a token that will be used by millions of people. So looks like there's some convergence here. Ben is teasing about it now. When is it coming? I don't know, but looks like okay, progress is being made, and it's really with a tier 1 exchange, most likely Coinbase. And that will be huge, and I hope it will also open the door to other important projects on Cardano. I'm thinking like Yagon, who also has something for like a real product, real utility, real world utility type of token. So let's follow that closely. From Tuesday to Thursday, some members of the book team attended the London Book Fair to talk about book. Here we can see this picture of Jason during his lecture at the Tech Theater, Books on the Blockchain, the Rise of Digital Ownership. So what is the London Book Fair? It's an annual event of the publishing industry where a lot of professionals go. You can see here publishers, deal makers, copyright professionals, global licensors, like everyone goes there. It's a huge event with this year 30,000 attendees, 30,000 professionals. And I think there were 1,000 booths represented. So really a lot going on. And it's super interesting to see that book is going there again, because they were there last year as well. And they keep on creating, maintaining those connections with other professionals. From our perspective, we always think at the reader level. Yeah, I'm gonna buy some books, I'm gonna read them, I earn tokens, I can resell the book, like consumer level. But book also needs the book publishers on their side to fill in the catalogs and have more and more books available on the platform. So these kind of events are to fulfill that goal. So it's really good to see that they can go. There's a picture here with a few more staff members. And it's important, it shows that they're in this growth phase. This is marketing. It's not marketing like for consumers, but for business partners. And the fact that they can send a handful of people, across the pond for a few days also confirms that financially they're in a good place. So, Book now is transitioning from startup to a proper company. They're scaling, hiring a lot of people. And yes, they have very heavy backers. And it looks like those investors are also ready to fund a lot of activities. So it looks like company is healthy, company is creating those connections with the publishers, and that will help having more books, which will then help get the mass adoption. When it comes to mints, there were 4 of those this week, starting with now the new Monday series, which is Rulers and Revolutions, with 10 days that shook the world. And as you can see, this is still minting. This series, Rulers and Revolutions, is a bit an odd topic to me. It seems like something hard to read. Looks like there's not much action going on, despite the very limited quantity. 350, it's nothing. Remember that the first mints were in the thousands, so we scaled down a lot. But despite that, floor price is somehow close to the discount / OG price. It's kind of interesting actually to see that the gunpowder treason, which has basically 5 times more volume, actually has a higher floor price. It's kind of interesting to see that the floor price is somehow close and close to the OG price. So it looks like you can almost predict what the floor price is gonna be before even minting. Then on Tuesday they minted the 2nd edition of the King James Bible. I'm not sure if it was Tuesday or Wednesday because they had some issue. So if you remember, the first edition of the King James Bible was, I want to say, 10,000 units, but now I'm having a doubt, so I'm gonna check. 5,000, yes, okay, 5,000 units. And now they do a 2nd edition for the same price, 10 ADA, but 20,000 units. So much more. And I've been hearing people like, hey, you're just diluting the value, you're increasing the collection, so the first edition is not so worth it anymore. That is NFT degen mentality. I see where it's coming from. However, it is not applicable here. When it comes to book collecting, not NFTs, book collecting, what happens when you have subsequent editions is that the first one becomes rarer, because, well, the number of first edition books compared to the total pool of books is getting smaller in percentage the more editions you add. And to illustrate this point, I'm showing you here a first edition of Harry Potter that sold for 471,000 US. So how many Harry Potter books do you have in the world? Probably millions. And so, oh, this first edition is worth nothing because you have millions of books? No, it doesn't work like this. Okay, this case is a bit extreme because we're talking about Harry Potter, which is a global hit, and well, maybe King James Bible will not have the same appeal. I can see that, but it shows you the mechanics of book collectors. So if you got the first edition of the King James Bible, it is, or it should be perceived as rarer than the second edition and thus be more valuable, especially that both have the same mint price. So that's also a glimpse at what editioning will look like. Maybe not editioning, but rather creating several editions of the same book. It's something they talked about probably last year when they said that every time an edition is minted out, on the reader edition, they will mint a new one with much more quantity. And this is what we've seen here, from 5,000 to 20,000. Maybe the next one will be 100,000, who knows. Another highlight of this mint was that actually it didn't happen when it was planned, because they had some issues with pinning the books on IPFS, because it was 20,000 of them. Nacho mentioned that it took them 10 to 11 hours, and they were not ready for the scheduled time, so they pushed it, I believe, 5 or 6 hours later. And I was a bit worried if that would be a problem in the future, because here we're talking about 20,000 books, but imagine when you have millions of books available and a lot of them are being minted all the time. So is that scalable? And well, Nacho mentioned that actually they took that into account and they're gonna move to something called mint on demand, where they don't need to pin everything in advance. They will just do it as they are minting. So that may be a solution. I'm also a bit curious about IPFS as the go-to platform for storage. Again, just shout out to Yagon, who is somehow offering a similar service. And well, maybe it would be good to keep it kind of in the Cardano family, and maybe just to have different providers, just to be more resilient. I don't know if there's something to explore there, but I hope to see more, I would say, more connections between book and other actors on the Cardano blockchain. I mean, they opened their stake pool, so they are definitely active on the Cardano network. They get along well with Hosky. There are some Hosky books. So maybe we'll see more. Of course, Endmaker, big partner of book. So we'll see if Yagon is the next one on the list. Now, I come back to the topic of mints. When on Wednesday they moved on with their Women of Wednesdays series. Again, we see this one is still minting, and if we look at this series, again, floor price pretty similar, even though it's just 300 copies. So it looks like we're hearing we are slowing down on minting out, and we really need to take a step back. I feel like there was a core community of OGs who were minting a lot, and well, they like the covers, they like the books, they love the community, they love the project they're supporting, so top-notch community. And then ADA went up, and then, well, when you have to buy a book, you know, for twice the price that you used to mint them, then you start thinking. And I fully understand that. And I think that maybe in most projects you would see like, oh, they're not selling out, it's a failure, there's no interest, it's dead, blah, blah, blah. But this is not an NFT project, this is a bookstore. it is, I know it sounds like some cognitive gymnastic, but it is not a bad thing not to sell out. Because if you're a new user, you come to a bookstore and there is no book to mint. I mean, there's no book to buy. I mean, you just go to a different store, right? So I think we are in this weird place where we are transitioning from minting OG limited collections and moving to a wider breadth of books, of genres, and also higher quantities with the reader editions. And the thing is that we have the OGs, but we don't have the masses yet. So we don't have those people to buy those other books that are either reader editions or less popular with the OG community. And we just have to wait it out. Remember those 2024 goals, which book exposed, so their customer goals with easy sign up, with just an email address or your Facebook or Gmail account, possibility to buy with credit card, custodial wallets directly linked to your book account. So this will be a matter of a few months. And then when it's done, then the normal readers, non-crypto people are coming, and then they're gonna look into those books and they're gonna buy them. And then you'll be like, damn, why didn't I buy a book written by a women author when there are only 300 copies, and now there are thousands of people who are interested in it? Because remember that those books, they don't come out of nowhere. Probably there are some that you've never heard about, but they were all influential to some degree. And I'm thinking about this series in particular, Women Author Wednesdays. I know that in some US universities, you can have studies on that very topic of feminism and women rights. And how many thousands of students is that? How many of those could be potential customers for those books? So really, I see that we're in a weird place. Okay, we don't sell out, it's slowed down, but we're just, I would say, filling up the shelves for when we will call in the masses. I'm not worried at all. Also, if we get this CEX listing, I mean, that will also drive the book token price up, which is also revenue for the company. So really, that's just how it is with mints. It slowed down and it's just temporary, I believe. All right. And then we had a triple mint with just so stories. And so it was Polygon, Cardano, Ethereum. I'm not sure where it sold out. Actually, I know that Cardano sold out. And why do I know that? Because guess who got 000? Rigged. It was Ben who minted and got it. And he posted in the OG Book Club, like, what should I do? Like, should I give it to Mike, do a giveaway or something? And in the end, he settled with, he's gonna gift it to the person who mints the last book. So there were, I think, 454 books. When he got it, maybe there were like 100 books left or something like this. I don't remember exactly, but there are quite some. And so he's basically telling the OGs, because this was OG only, okay, so good luck guys, you have to mint out, but I will only give it to the guy who mints last. And it was like an incredible standoff for 5 hours or so of OGs getting in queue, to see how much we will sell, who will mint, and then when it's their turn to mint, to pay, if it was not the last one, then they would just give up on the payments. And so it went like this for a few hours, playing with people's patience and nerves, I assume. Some people had to stay late and so on. Very funny social experiment, a bit sadistic. I'm not sure it's worth doing again, but definitely the person who got it deserves it, because it was a really funny standoff for all night, all EU night. So, and also good to see that, okay, when the staff means something, that is very rare, or they give it away. And they do that a lot, every time there's a mint, they do a test mint first to make sure all goes well. And those test mints, more often than not, they are feeding the giveaways they do on X later. So just to say that, so like the team is reserving things for them or anything. No, they mint with their own wallets, their own money like everyone else. I remember selling books to Ben at the beginning. It was a Moby Dick pair code for 127 ADA. I don't know what's the floor is now, what the floor is now, but at some point it was probably 500 ADA. Anyway, water under the bridge. Okay, and one last thing is that for Friday, they had actually planned something here that was a tiny bit cryptic, just this pirate flag. And this was a reference to a history of pirates, which is the airdrop for the Misfit series. So they said TBD, to be determined. It didn't happen in the end. I think the main reason is that we have Sheila, who is part of the art department, so creating all those covers, while she was at the London Book Fair, and whether there were other employees which were in London. So I guess with a bit less resources, it was harder to pull off. But still, it's in the cards. If not this week, then most likely the next. When it comes to the token price in USD, we are still in an uptrend on the 7 days with plus 5.5%. You can see that we reached a new all-time high again. 14th, when was that? Thursday, with 4.6 cents, and then with the market as a whole going down, well, it was reflected here in the price. But on the 7 days, still on an uptrend around the 4 cent mark. It looks like it's the magnet zone at the moment. You can see here that's where people are buying, and then we went back to that support. Something interesting that happened this week is that our holder count went up again quite significantly, with a few hundred more holders. And the reason for that is that book is now available on Drip Drops. I don't know if you know that website. You can put your Cardano wallet address and it will tell you, you can just get tokens for free. It's a way for tokens to get some marketing, to get some exposure. And since this week, Book is in there, and I don't know how come. To be honest, I don't know if Book had to do something to be in there, or if it's someone else's initiative. The amount is very, very, very low. But it's there now, and it looks like people actually decided to receive it, even though it was a small amount. And from what I was reading, this bumped our holder count up 300 holders. So it's good to be more widespread. Not sure where that comes from, why we are suddenly on Drip Drops, but hey, we'll take it. Also, one last thing, it's not token related, but it's BookCon related, is that it's happening in not less than a month, but almost a month, 33 days, and there's still tickets available. And I just wanted to point out that from what I guess, let's say it's an educated guess, there are less than 20 VIP tickets left. I mean, it's an expensive ticket, but you know, if the number of 69 tickets, VIP tickets given by Josh was indeed the real figure, and that 20 left, it means that for, let's say, 50 people got VIP tickets. And remember that they're getting some exclusive books. So those books may be just 50 units, or maybe some people will get airdropped some, I'm not sure. But yeah, those VIP tickets are going out fast. And I also noticed a nice increase in the sales of virtual attendance. So that's really nice to see as well. Maybe there'll be more giveaways or more discount codes on X, so make sure to follow Book. I'll be in Texas next month for the BookCon. I hope to see many of you there. I know I'll see Charles Hoskinson, so that's pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure there'll be some stuff being teased or maybe even announced. So it will be really a historic event, and I understand that not everyone can go to Texas like that, totally fair. But think about this virtual attendance. It's $200, or I think $160 if you have the OG discount code. So you get 2 books and you get the alpha. And well, there was already a book token airdrop to ticket holders. They said it's the first of many surprises. They also said that there will be some benefits that would extend beyond the con. So a bit of a gamble, but at least you get the alpha, you get 2 books that will be worth something. So maybe it's not such a risky gamble in the end. One last thing before closing out this video is a reminder that for the stake pool, there will be a claiming portal available on March 25th in partnership with Sunday Labs. March 25th is Monday, not the coming one, but the one the week after that. So from that point, we'll be able to get our staking rewards. And with that, it is the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, liking, commenting, sharing. Really appreciate the support, and I'm happy to provide value. I do this for you and for me to have a little bit of fun, of course. So yeah, thanks, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you on Discord, X, or wherever else. Take care.